sounds like peace. Lay your head, let the ceiling spin. You don't have to begin again. I've been here where the air goes thin. Saw what happens when you try to win. Better stay where the walls don't move. Nothing left that you have to prove. I don't push, I pull you close till you forget what you wanted most. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend. Take my hand, feel the current slow. I can show you what I know. Every spark only burns you out. Every dream just a longer drought. I don't lie, I just dim the flame. Give your hunger another name. Call it calm, call it letting go. Call it all that you'll never know. If you don't rise, you don't fall apart. That's the safest way to break a heart. It's just the way of the world. Down in the dirt where the flowers bloom. It's just the way of the world. You'll feel the power of an empty room. It's just the way of the world. Just wait a moment and we'll start again. You
Shit.
are the enemy of my friend, my friend, my friend, my friend.
All right. We're about to get started.
Stay down, stay near. I need you right here. Stay down, stay small. I'm nothing.
Hit that like. That's right. Almost there. Oh, let's just go for it. Hold on.
It's just the way of the world.
All right, let's try and get this going. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Is the chat coming up? Is it there? Hold on. Oh, this is the promo. Sorry. That's the wrong. Where's the day thing? That's the morning. Here's the chat. There it is. I'll figure it out. These are all new buttons. I had to move everything around. Damn it. Hi. I agree. I'm a big fan. It's a good time. The songs. Things are shaping up well. It's nice. Again, I have to protect my voice because I got to say, after my big week of singing last week, I was all right. But it was that talking all day on Friday that got me. Yeah. It lowered my voice like half an octave. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to, you know what? I should probably build a set that's just me on a ballroom just for my own safety emotionally. The Epstein ballroom is Donald Trump's emotional support ballroom. We got a lot to get to today, so I don't want to, dilly-dally a bunch. Where was this? This guy here, and I want to make sure we get that one. And then there's a lot of the Candace versus the other people going around, and that's a joy to behold. And then, of course, Trump had this messy, post-astronaut jabber. It was terrible. It was just, what's my opinion on the SCOTUS ruling? That's a good way to start. How about that? I'm not as upset about the SCOTUS ruling as other people are, and I'll tell you why. One is, it wasn't a total gutting of it. it was a tapping down of a particular attempt, uh, because I think it was Louisiana or Mississippi, one of those. They were making a very kind of around the margins safe approach to clearly trying to gerrymander a black district out of existence. And they wanted to get rid of that one black congressperson that was in there, which that single district would do. The problem with that is that at a certain point, when the black population or the population overall was smaller, it really was gerrymandering was actually one of the ways they protected um, the ability for there to be black representatives in Congress. Because if you split that vote amongst the greater, white and Hispanic population or Asian population, it would water it down. And the idea was that they wouldn't have any direct representation in the. So what they would do is they would sort of create these ridiculously shaped gerrymandered districts that were as black as they could make them, so that representative would be there. They go, we got one of them from Mississippi. I don't know what y'all are talking about. They elect one, we don't, because we don't, but they don't. They, if they want to, they can. The problem with that is that once you reach a certain plurality of voters, or you have a certain volume of voters in a place, it's better for the overall direction of the Congress if everybody isn't isolated into one area where you get one vote and you're actually genuinely districted by your neighborhood with your neighbors who are now in it with you and have to deal with the ramifications of their vote, and not just kind of go, well, they're over there. That's not our problem anymore. And so what happens is when you have a singular district, everyone around them can be bright red. They can be blood red. Got it? Because there's this distinctly, in theory, though not always, blue district in the middle of it, right? Does that make sense? But when you break it up and they're amongst everybody, that bright red district gets kind of maroon. Maybe it wouldn't, before it certainly wouldn't turn it fully purple, but now it very much could. And the Democratic vote, which was always in these bright red districts, was marginalized because it was, 30% of the vote. Now, when you switch that around, it gets a lot closer to 50-50 in some of these places. So it does not help the MAGA Republicans guarantee themselves strength in the Congress. As a matter of fact, it keeps them from being kind of the distinct power in the area. If you got 5 bright red districts and 1 blue district, if you broke them all up and legitimately just went by actual, county lines and that kind of stuff, you'd find that there was a lot more purple there. But what they did was they were able to sort of sequester the blue vote in an area, right? And then, therefore, the people they could elect in the red districts were off the friggin' charts, right? They were beyond, regular Republican. They could be super MAGA QAnon because they had diluted any alternate vote in that district by sequestering it away. Does that make sense? So there was a period where this ruling distinctly protected the existence of the Congressional Black Caucus or something like that. Now, not so much. Back before there was cable TV, that kind of redistricting really bought you the exact votes you were going for. That's not the case right now. And again, if a bigger section of your electorate now is split up, you can't run like an Uber maggot in that district anymore. You got to put in somebody like relatively sensible, because it could cost you down the line. You can't actually put the same person in. So when this happens, I'm not as big a fan as like of the theory that you can actually socially manipulate the electorate in that way like you used to be able to. So I honestly am not worried about it. I'm not. As a matter of fact, I think this will blow up in Republicans' faces. And again, I think if the district should be indicative of sort of like county and natural borders to the area. It really should. So if that means that you're having to interact at, your primaries and all that kind of stuff are in and amongst your actual community and the actual churches you go to and stuff like that, it will, the elected officials will reflect on the electorate more. Does that make sense just for everybody? Yeah, further gerrymandering in Florida could blow up in the GOP's face. Absolutely. So one of the things that gerrymandering to protect a blue district or a red district even does is it creates a more sort of like artificial purity in the other district, which makes it more adversarial. People have to get along less because the distinction between the two districts, it gets further and further apart. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm not going to worry about it. We got bigger fish to fry. And again, they can't exactly, run these uber maggots. Struck a deal with hardline conservative rebels on Wednesday to delay a vote on the farm bill, which has been at the center of the hoping the procedural rule of more than 2 hours to try and win over Hill Des. Yeah, we talked about that this morning. Was that Alyosha that put that in there? Yeah, thank you. We talked about that this morning when Boebert actually, voted with the Democrats to try and keep them from being able to stop the vote. Maybe they've been trying to drag their feet on it because they're trying to like throw a bunch of Trump's 2025 shit into this, into whatever bill they can. We grab this one and then, yeah. Okay. And then I got one more thing, but I'll grab that as we go. But hit the like, share the show, etc. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. You can clip the show. You can support the show a bunch of different ways. And you can also, see if I can go over to here, see if this works. Hey, look at that. Just so you know, yeah, there you go. May 22nd, near Cleveland. Hello, Cleveland. Nerd Halen is coming, May 22nd. Just get used to the idea. And then, of course, there it is, May 21st, the night before, we're in Pittsburgh, which is awesome. I may have to bring my my Zoltan Pirates jersey to wear on stage. I'm kidding. I really need to get that thing framed because it's so awesome. And then, of course, Chicago at the Vixen and McHenry. We had to move the venue because the venue we were at before was apparently slated for demolition or something. That's right in line with what we have to experience most of the time. May 23rd, so that's the Saturday. I will also be doing my show from Chicago on that Saturday. So I'll be in studio with John, and that'll be a good time. So do you like my new little promo window I made for myself? I'm so proud. Okay, so that said, let's jump straight into the show. And here we are. So there are a bunch of people who dealt with Hegseth today, and I gotta say, folks, if you know like Pam Bondi, because he basically pulled a big Bondi. That's what like Hegseth just whinged about everything. For Manny's for everyone. That's right. Anybody who's ever wanted to eat an entire meal out of a diaper. This is ticket prices are not expensive. And if you're a Patreon, you get to come for free and bring a guest. You just got to let me know you're coming. So there's that. And it's different each place. I think the Cleveland one, like, we have a guarantee. So the tickets, like, we need to sell some tickets. So expect me to be pushing that a bunch over the next couple of weeks. That said, I want to, a couple of the folks that were, let's see, I'll jump into this. I'll show you sort of a don't before we get to a do. Not that anybody did poorly, but I'll show you what I heard.
Pretty powerful reporting, courtesy of Mr. Ryan, from many of our wounded troops who were injured in the attack in Kuwait. Mr. Secretary, you heard direct quotes from some of them via CBS's reporting. They were willing to talk to the press. Things like they were unprepared to provide any defense for themselves in the unit. Things like we were moved closer to Iran to a deeply unsafe area that was a known target. Your spokesperson, Sean Parnell, in response to that reporting, said it was not true. Do you agree with that? He's calling these guys liars?
I'm not calling our troops liars, and I don't know if what you're representing is correct or not. I'll take you at your word on that. But all I know is that we took every effort possible at the commencement of this campaign to ensure the defense of our troops, to include moving them off of known bases to places that were not known, and we had intel.
Understood,
intel
Secretary.
Were not known, and then those were fortified with bunkers and other fortifications with theater air defenses. Was our concern that something could
I'm going to pause you there. I'm going to give you a chance.
Absolutely.
Secretary, I'm going to
you're
give you a
disparaging
chance.
me that I don't care.
I'm
about
asking
the
you whether you
passing-
think they're
No,
liars or not.
You
That's what I asked
you
you.
are disparaging me that I don't care about the passing of our troops.
Nope.
That
I asked
think
if you
our
thought
troops
they're
are-
liars, Secretary.
That's disparaging.
All right. So again, this is him hiding behind the skirts of the troops, and he'll do that a bunch and all that stuff. And like, you're calling me names by asking me a legit question. Who was it? Rokana actually, asked him about budgetary numbers, and he was like, he pulled the same crap. Even though he was addressing numbers, you can see kind of the spitting vitriol in his face, and this is where he went. And the entire defense that he was putting was like, how dare you question my faith and patriotism, sir? At long last, do I have no decency? I'm sorry, that went backwards. Anyways, so let's jump into this, though. He references Representative Ryan at the beginning of that clip, the last congressperson that was speaking. Let me show you how, like Ryan nailed it. Hold on. I'm going to go back here.
Yes. It does bother me that our footprint has gotten so much smaller over there, but I do know with drones and other things, it makes it much more difficult to have those outposts. But I appreciate all of you being here. Sorry that I have not been here.
No, sir. Appreciate the other work. Gentleman yields back. Chair, and I recognize the gentleman from New York, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Head wounds, heavy bleeding, and then just shrapnel all over. So folks are bleeding from their abdomen, bleeding from arms, bleeding from legs. Secretary Hegseth, do you know who said that?
I'm not sure I do.
It was one of our soldiers describing the devastating Iranian drone strike at Port Shuaibah, March 1st in Kuwait. As you know, 6 of our soldiers killed, over 30 wounded. Secretary, do you know the range of the Shahed 136 one-way attack drone, approximately?
It depends on the variant, but it's
Yeah, not a lot.
got serious distance.
Several hundred miles. Mm-hmm. Do you know how far
He just said serious distance. Yeah, I think anything, a drone that blows up, any distance it travels at all would be a serious distance.
Shuaibah is?
Also, but I would like to say, watch, Ryan's great at this, and you can tell by like how well he manages this dickhead and how he starts looking down. That first opening salvo of reading the words of the troops and addressing it and then moving to another question, because what he'll do, and this is a note to Democrats who are dealing with him, is that whatever you ask him about initially, he will either use to deflect or he will question your motives for asking the question instead of answering it. So if you set him up with what he thinks is the question that's coming, and then you ask him another question, a material question, and then he answers it or doesn't answer it, and then you go back to a narrative question, but don't ask him. Move to another numeric question, or go to a numeric thing and then ask him a narrative question. Do you understand? You have to swap out, because he's basically, his like little wheels are going, and he's going to front load his attack on you for asking the last question that you didn't ask when you ask him the next question. That's how because he's stupid.
From Iran.
There's a reason why we took
It's
extreme measures
gonna
of
reclaim
force
my time.
protection, because
I'm
we
gonna reclaim
understood the
my time.
proximity challenges.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to reclaim my time.
The proximity challenges. That's what it is when you have bases within drone and missile range of the target that you're starting without properly reinforcing those or getting those troops out of harm's way. That's what he calls a proximity challenge that he failed to meet, by the way. At that challenge, big goose egg on the success level.
It's well under 100 miles. Before the war started.
Look at him looking down. He does not know this. And it's an embarrassing number.
There was clear intelligence that Shuaibah was high on Iran's target list. Internal analysis had said the site was indefensible from aerial attack and should not be used. Yet you sent our soldiers from the 103rd Sustainment Command there anyway. Is that true or false? True or false?
Okay, true or false question. Who thinks he's going to give a one-word answer? Okay, I'm messing with you.
Straightforward question.
Are you going to give me a chance to answer or just play God?
Yes, say true or false. Say yes or no. That's it. That's all the chance you need. So one fucking syllable, dum-dum.
Did you send them there or not?
We took proactive
I'll
measures
take that
from the
as a yes
beginning to
and
ensure
reclaim my
force
time.
protection and defensive
Now,
posture were
let's
No, you didn't, or you wouldn't have sent them there because it's an indefensible space. It does not have protections against aerial drones. So no, you didn't. You didn't take every possible chance. Like you didn't take every, every possible option was looked at under the utmost scrutiny of our warfighters.
maximized
Mr.
across
Secretary,
the theater.
Let's talk
Yeah, it was not optimalized across. Optimalized.
yes
Beginning
and
to ensure
reclaim my
force
time.
protection and defensive
Now
posture were
let's talk,
maximized
Mr.
across
Secretary,
the theater.
Let's talk
Was awesome falafelous across the theater. No, it wasn't. When your defense is there's nothing anyone could have done. First of all, I think you owe Hillary Clinton an apology. And secondly, what's the phrase I'm looking for?
This is some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see through it.
Yes, we do. Just stupid.
about what defenses they had. Prior to the attack, officers on the ground knew our troops were vulnerable. In fact, they requested additional force protection. Did they receive it?
We did everything we could do except the thing that they asked for, which I'm going to pretend we did, but we didn't.
Wherever humanly possible, force protection
Wherever humanly possible. That's just a lie.
They did
and
not.
counter
I'll
UAS
save you
was
the
always
time.
made available.
They did not. In fact,
Also, what the fuck does made available mean, you asshole? Holy shit. And look how he's looking down. Like Ryan is owning this. Other Democrats, take fucking notes. This is very well done. And he's like shamed into a hole. I don't know why he has. I mean, obviously, he feels much bolder pushing back when a woman is questioning him or a person of color. Like he clearly feels like he can just intimidate them. But maybe that's part of it. Who knows? But his response here just sucks. It's political boilerplate for any maggots that are watching. It's the same kind of just turd polishing we saw from Rumsfeld and the rest of these assholes when Iraq started to spiral and turn into something they promised us it would not be. Shock and awe, anyone? This, what he fails to, I mean, I don't know if it's failure. I take it back. What he's hiding from is the fact that all the shit he's saying about it's only been a few weeks is exactly what they were saying at the beginning of Iraq.
when asked to describe the base's defense, one survivor who's come forward from the unit said, quote, I would put it in the none category. From a drone defense capability, none. So let's be
Yeah, just look at him, just staring and blinking. He's trying to come up with something. Look at him. He's fucking trying to drill holes. Maybe if I stare at him real hard. Maybe if I give him the old warrior ethos glaze. Just, I'll slather him with the warrior ethos. It just pours forth. How do you like that? Them apples.
clear, no counter drone capabilities, no counter rocket systems, no counter mortar or counter artillery, not even the basic overhead protection that you and I had 20 years ago in Iraq. And now 6 of our soldiers are dead. The next day, you downplayed the attack. You said it was a squirter that squeaked through fortified defenses.
Damn. Honestly, if I mean, most of us were Hegseth. We just go, you know what? I give up. Just teabag me in front of everybody.
Since then, thankfully, brave survivors have come forward to set the record straight. One of our surviving
A squirter, by the way.
soldiers told CBS, quote, painting a picture that one squeaked through is a falsehood. Another said the
Yeah, did you see that part where he called him a liar? And normally, watch the other, thing. Like maybe he's just running out of steam or whatever. But normally, Keg Breath would start. Are you calling me a liar? He does that to other people. But for this, the way this is laid out, he's got nothing.
it was
You know what he's doing right now? You know what he's doing right now? You know what he's doing right now? He's lining up the pencils on the fucking table. You know what I'm talking about? He's sitting there going, why won't this notebook line up exactly with the pencil? It should really be lined up with the pencil right here. That's what he's doing.
quote, unprepared to provide any defense for itself. It was not a fortified position. Another survivor said the building's protection was about as weak as one gets.
This is, by the way, Keg Breath's Benghazi. That's what this is. By sending them to a forward base that had no protection, it's worse than this alleged stand down order that Clinton was supposedly, accused of, but she was accused of, but she supposedly did, that she didn't. There was no stand down order. But this is equivalent to a stand down order. It's the same thing. We're going to send you to an unsecure room and let you wait to get hit.
Secretary Hegseth, that is obviously in direct contradiction to what you said from the Pentagon podium the next day. So are you saying that these soldiers, our soldiers who survived this horrific attack, are lying?
What I'm saying is before the commencement of the conflict, we put in maximum defensive posture.
No, you didn't.
That's a direct
We
contradiction
moved
to
70
what they said.
in this directing. Can I speak, or are you just going to monologue falsehoods all over the place?
It's not a falsehood.
We moved 7,500 troops off of
Reclaiming
the
my
X based
time.
on the intel.
Stop.
Based on the intel.
Stop. Reclaiming my time.
Because you yell doesn't
Are
make you right.
calling-
Just because you yell doesn't
I'm
make you right.
reclaiming my time on behalf of these survivors. You just said what they said.
Look at that. That is not the jaw of a happy man. He just called the survivors liars again.
It's a falsehood.
There's a much larger
That true?
picture. There's a much larger picture at play here that included integrated air defenses, bunkers, moving people off
Then
the
why?
There was, oh, fuck me. Sorry. What, did they not make it to the bunker in time? Is it their fault? Bunkers? What the fuck?
Mr.
to
Secretary,
ensure
are
that they were
dead?
not part of the target. We moved those troops and all across the theater, thousands of troops off the X, off of their bases, because we knew what Iran was
Yeah, to less safe places, shithead.
going to try to strike. And
Why is he testifying? Because they want $1.5 trillion and another $200 billion supplemental. That's why he's testifying today. They are in front of this panel because this is oversight. Now, most of this is aimed at how fucked up and stupid he is and how terribly, unprepared they were for their own fucking war, all that shit. But what the committee's really there for is they're presenting a budget and the Congress has oversight. They have control of the purse strings. So that's what they're there to do.
knew there
So
would
no
be a
answer.
tragic moment.
No
there could be a
answer, Mr.
tragic moment where
Secretary.
something
Again.
could get through. Of
Again,
course, that's the
I'm
consequence of
reclaiming my
conflict.
time.
And we
That's the consequence of conflict. That's the consequence of conflict. There's no love in the room. Yeah. That's the consequence of conflict. Jesus Christ. Yeah. And that's not, you're taking no responsibility for that consequence. You are giving the experiential responsibility to the people that were killed and injured. It's their fucking fault that they were signed up in the military when your dumbass decided to send them off a base that was fortified into a forward place that was not, which was on, you knew was on a target list, if you gave a shit.
Remember those 6 every single day.
I want to finish.
But don't play games with.
I'm not playing games.
raising
I
your
want to
voice
finish
and
with
pointing
one more
fingers.
quote from a survivor of the attack. And
You tell me what to do. You're not my real dad. I get enough of this from my wife. She makes me pray with her every morning before I leave the house so I don't get all rapey at work.
this on the record. Telling the truth is important. And we're not going to learn from these mistakes if we pretend these mistakes didn't happen.
Wait, no. The only screw up Ryan did. We're not going to learn from these mistakes if we pretend they were successes. That's what he does. It would be bad enough if they just said, well, shit happens. But he's like, this happened because we were busy being awesome. He thinks this whole thing is a fucking A++. Not only do you not learn from mistakes that you don't recognize, you certainly don't learn from mistakes you don't think were mistakes at all, and were in fact evidence of your being fucking kick-ass, bro.
Secretary Hegseth, those soldiers told the truth. Those soldiers are braver.
Oof. Look at his face. Look at Hegseth. Like, he tried his little snapback and it just did not work. Yeah, these are quotes from the soldiers. Brilliant move on Ryan's part.
Than you are.
I commend
They
them.
are asking for accountability. They deserve accountability. And I'm asking for the same, starting with you. And as I said a year ago, you need to resign immediately.
I commend those
And I
soldiers.
yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, now
He can't wait to, he shuts his mic off. Look at him go to, like, fuck this. I'm not, you know, those moments where Comer will go, do you want to finish answering the question? Do you got more to say? Do you got some zingers? Do you want to pull a Pam Blondie and say that the Dow's at 50,000? Man, do you want to do it? Right? He's like, nah, fuck that. I'm out. Cannot leave that conversation fast enough. Well done, Pat Ryan from New York. And by the way, to all my fight friends on the right and the left who are like, we need fight fighters who are fucking fighting and fucking all the time. That wasn't fighting. That was strategic. It was very smart. It was well delivered. It was done with the gravitas and the import of what he was discussing. When he said stop to him, it wasn't him fighting. It was like, no, what I'm saying is more important than your fucking bullshit.
This is some bullshit. We see through it. This is some bullshit.
Damn straight. So, again, great work. Pat Ryan, I would like to put this flag in the ground of yet another Democrat doing a great fucking job, while people are like, I wish the Democrats would Democrat some. You're like, Would you notice if they weren't? Okay, there it is. Okay. Takes a moment for the chat to reload. It's very strong. It's very strong. Now, let's see. I'm going to move on to a couple things. In the we'll get to the Trump ridiculousness of him after just embarrassing our astronauts by being a fucking anchor. But you know how Hannity had Bongholio on, and then he was like, following up, we're gonna have you on the hangout with Hannity, his little fucking Fox Nation man cave podcast, because they don't want to give him a raise, so they give you another show. That's what they did with Jesse Waters when Tucker left, and he wanted the same money as Tucker for the same time slot, and they're like, fuck you. We were dumb giving him that much money. We're not going to give it to you, but we'll give you a slight raise, but we can't do it here because everybody else will want to raise too in our night lineup, like Laura and all these other. So what we do is we'll keep you at your regular salary, and we'll give you a little show on Fox Nation. Nobody has to watch it, and nobody will, but we'll pay you for that. That was their sort of compensation scheme for Tucker before he split. Okay. Good picture, by the way, of Bongholio, who looks like they sprung the idea of doing this podcast on him at the last minute. Huh? Who's it? I got to be on Hannity again? Huh? So
let me get to the.
All right. What kind of fucking nonsense is this little perspective trick room with your, what kind of childish horseshit? Honest to God.
Oh, hello there.
I feel like there's a little bit of Tucker in this.
I like wood.
You know what I'm saying?
Deeper and longer.
You know? We can build you a set, Sean, but it's not going to look as big as Tucker's actual living room. So we'll build you this like teeny little chunk. Basically, the walls on Mark Levin's show, we'll just turn them around. How's this look?
Deeper and longer.
Oh, yeah.
I like wood.
I know. Good. So this is where you really get the inside scoop. He didn't want to talk about stuff on Hannity because it was just, it required too much explanation, guys. There was too much going on. He couldn't just do it in a 7-minute segment on Hannity's show. They need to get relaxed, sit in a couple of leather chairs that, whether you meant to or not, every time you move, that was the chair. I swear to God, it was the chair. I swear to God, that was not the chair. All right. So, I had to sit there with a cigar, fucking ashtray, and just douchebag it out. Because Hannity desperately wants to have a show like Marr has. So they threw this crap together for him. Just fucking sad. Anyways, and he's got a little neon sign like he's a fucking second-year YouTuber. And they got a TV with it on there like he's fucking trying to be Jimmy Dore. It's sad everywhere. Like the whole fucking thing. He's got the fucking, I think the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, like the first page of them framed up there. The ones you can buy at the gift shop in Washington, they just framed those. He's got a fucking, like a samurai swords and a tanto, like he ever fucking knows. A dartboard that's way up on a shelf, like nobody ever uses it. 2 pool cues that are collecting more dust than chalk. This weird little, 3 books and a hat or some shit that's sitting over here. And then the only thing that really gets used is some fucking girl drink, no offense, and a rag so he can wipe his forehead. I don't know, maybe the show carries on long enough they both rub one out. I don't know. But here you go. This is the title of this. I'm going to fucking blow a goddamn stack. Bongholio says, I'll never be the same after what I saw. What was it? I can't say. Well, I got news for you, fuckwad. You sound exactly the same. Your show's exactly the same as it was before you were on, at the FBI. Nothing has changed. You were full of shit then. You're full of shit now. You're whining about the same stuff then as you are right now. You're not adding information or a depth of understanding to what you talk about on your fucking show. What changed? Honest to God. Let's find out.
The Post.
Oh, man, the Post. The words right out of... Which Post? Was it the Pam Bondi thing? Nah, he's not going to read that, is he?
Yeah. I remember reading this. Yeah. And I remember reading it again.
Because I really, it was that or the news to prepare for my show, and who wants to do that? I mean, it's not like what I say changes based on reality.
And then I read it again.
Okay, now you're obsessive. This is, look, I'm not here to yuck your yum. Little bit.
It's fun to be
not saying they wanted to be alone.
because I know you and I've known
In the biblical sense.
you all these years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if Dan Bongino's saying this,
Dan Bongino? Sorry, I thought Trump was the only person who was drunk today. Dan Bongino?
years.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So that's not his first drink. This thing is fucking full. He's had a couple. I don't know how late in the show this is, but shit.
if Dan Bongino's saying
Dan Bongino is saying stuff like this. What hope do the rest of us have?
this, we are screwed.
Sorry. I just think it's hilarious that Bongholio is your last line. Like, if he can't get it together, what chance do any of us have?
I'm going to read it. I don't read it on the show, but I'm going to
Well, or ever.
put my glasses on and read it. Okay.
Oh my God, I want to read it. He's hammered. This is fucked up.
During my tenure here as deputy director of the FBI,
10-year. You didn't even make 1 year. So I would avoid the use of 10-year. You asshole. 10-year. I've basically been here for 10 years emotionally.
I have repeatedly relayed to you that things are happening that might not be immediately visible, but they are happening.
I am doing work, okay? You guys might see it, and just because I go on Fox and Friends and say that all I do is stare at four walls and I can hear the toilet flush when Cash is in the next room, I'm doing stuff, all right? Get off my back. The only criminals that we have any evidence on are in the administration. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm doing work. 10 years.
So you're trying to communicate to those armchair quarterbacks that have
Yeah, maggots, by the way. This is not a message for us. We know you're a fuck up.
no idea the shit show you inherited. All right, so take that at the surface. The director and I are committed to stamping out public corruption, the political.
Well, but, obviously, I'm not making any money here. I got to get back to the fucking podcast so I can fucking sell prepper meals to people who think the end is nigh.
Weaponization of both law enforcement and intelligence operations.
Dude, you can't even use law enforcement properly at all. I don't think we're worried about you weaponizing it because you can't if you can't tell your ass from your elbow. I'm not concerned. Like even your attempt to their attempt to bust Comey is fucking pathetic and will fail. He's going to sue the government and get legal fees and probably he'll probably get a book out of it. He could sue him for defamation, but he'll probably make more money just doing it wouldn't. If I was Comey, I would put out a coloring book about this arrest. It'd be hilarious and it would sell like fucking hotcakes.
It is a priority for us. But what I have learned in the course of our properly predicated and necessary investigations into these aforementioned matters.
He didn't mention any matters. What matters are you talking about? What are you talking about? There were no aforementioned. All right.
Has shocked
I told you I was going to fucking flip my shit because this is so pathetic.
me down to my core.
I'm not even going to say, I was shook. I got the flusters. It was just in my office, I would sit, we had a desk and a chair and a computer that I didn't know how to use. And neither did Cash. You should have heard him scream. He thought he'd been fired, dog. Dear me. And but at one point I was like, is there a fainting couch in the building that you can put in the office? And they said, no, we don't have one of those. We're all adults here. And I was like, how dare you? And I quit. Jesus.
We cannot run a republic like this.
You can't run a republic at all, you dumb motherfucker. You quit.
Never be the same after learning what I've learned. We're going to conduct.
I'll Never Be the Same, by the way, is one of my favorite King's X songs of all time. And changed the way in high school that I approach girls, and it made me feel a lot more confident. So I'm just gonna, just gonna put that out there. I'll never be the same. Great King's X tune. It's on Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. Pick it up.
These righteous and proper investigations by the book and in accordance with the law.
A book. Maybe don't bring up books either, since you can't read.
We're going to get the answers we all deserve.
Except we're not. Then you left.
As with any investigation, I cannot predict where it's going to land.
Because I don't know what evidence is. I thought I did. I just don't know what constitutes. I thought for a long time that opinion equaled information and information equaled evidence. And now I mean, they actually fired me. I didn't quit.
But I can promise you an honest, dignified effort at truth.
But, it's got a shelf life,
Not my truth or your truth, but the truth. And he said, God
and truth.
bless America and all who defend her.
And I'm drunker after reading that.
Yeah. Okay. You want to give some context to that?
Yeah, because I don't know. I know you, and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah.
How far can you go?
He can't go anywhere. He doesn't know what he was saying. Dude, it's macho bullshit Mad Libs. There is nothing in there. He didn't say anything at all. Just performative horseshit.
For you, I'll go as far as I think I can go, because there's always like a line here, and
I don't want.
Yeah, that would be ongoing investigation, details of an ongoing investigation that you can talk about, or you could absolutely talk about, say, failed investigations while you were there that you had a direct part in, and that's why they were fuck ups. And then you could talk about some of the successes that happened that you had no business anywhere near, and they happened, successfully because people at the FBI know what the fuck they're doing, and you weren't one of them. Let me remind everybody, in case you're joining us from another fucking planet, this asshole was deputy director of the FBI for 10 months? Basically, didn't show up for one of the months, so I don't even know if that fucking qualifies. He was still getting a paycheck, but he was like whining off, weeks at a time. And his big complaint was he was lonely in his office and didn't know what he was doing. And he is the first deputy director in the history of the FBI to have a co-deputy director. He had to have fucking training wheels.
FBI knocking on the door.
Yeah. So I'm sitting in the office on the Friday night. I believe that was on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And
well, I guess depends on how late it was on Friday.
either Cash or I had to be in D.C. because only me and Cash can sign a FISA, and you have to actually sign it. So if there's an
Weird. It's almost like you found that out and then you didn't go, oh, shit. All that shit I talked about, FISAs that happened under Obama, under Biden, I realized what a liar I was. Weird.
emergency, one of us had to be in D.C. So typically we were both there, but
Yeah, no. You had to be there as the deputy so Cash could fuck off on the taxpayer's dime. To, quite frankly, see his sugar daddy in Vegas. Under Don't get mad. Ain't no hating.
I love that feeling. Super hoods have got the goods. Owie, owie, oh. Points and thongs and vests and thongs. Whoa, I love that feeling.
Yeah, I'm not, by the way, saying that Kash Patel is gay. I'm not saying that or insinuating that, because I personally believe that to be gay, that means you respect and care for a person of the same sex, and you have, whether you're, it's a one-night stand or the potential for a real relationship, or you're married, you actually give a shit about that person. I think it's very possible that Kash Patel likes to fuck guys, but that doesn't make him gay necessarily. You know what I mean? It could just make him a hedonistic, self-involved asshole. Right? I happen to think there's, there's an emotional, soul connection that goes with gay people's relationships. I don't know that these dickheads are capable of that. So even if they were straight, I'd be like, well, I mean, I guess you're heterosexual, but it's not like you're a good partner or you're all right.
I think that weekend he was traveling. So I was the DC guy and my wife couldn't come up that weekend. So I was basically.
She could have. She chose not to. Good,
on my own in the apartment in DC. And, I knew it was going to be. So I just stayed really late at the office on.
Sorry, you don't have a lot of friends in DC? I mean, basically everybody from Fox that you knew is working in the administration. So they just didn't want to hang with you. Like you couldn't, as the deputy director of the FBI, after you were done, you couldn't go and have a fucking hang or a meal with people in the administration who used to work with you at Fox. Think about that. How fucked up is that? What kind of an asshole do you have to be that the nutlicks and the gnomes of the world are like, I got a thing.
And because I was being a tough guy just because there was nowhere else to go and I figured might as well work. So.
Sorry, tough guys stay after hours at the office? I missed that Chuck Norris film. There was good guys wear black and tough guys stay after hours at the office.
It was like 7:00 and I was starting to feel bad because my security details got to work late too. And it wasn't a big detail. It was like 4 or 5 guys, but,
Not a big detail. I only have 5 guys myself.
Yeah. It was like 4, which isn't huge, but, we had a lot of threats. And, so I'm sitting there.
I'm not okay. I'm only used to seeing Bongholio on his show or on actual Fox broadcasts. Maybe one other time he was on something else. He's very sniffy and he looks like he's acting like he was roofied by Matt Gaetz, if you know what I'm saying. He's got a kind of affectionate sway going on right now. Does anybody else notice that? Just let's back up a second. Just, and granted, Sean's a charmer.
Like 4 or 5 guys, but,
Not a big detail. I only have 5 guys myself.
Yeah. It was like 4, which isn't huge, but, we had a lot of threats and,
that is the most Ellen I have ever seen him. I'm just saying.
So I'm sitting there.
Yeah, my gaydar just went whapang.
And I
probably should not have worn a tank top today. I was hot and I was hungry. All right.
There was a document that we had found, Kash and I, in the infamous 9th floor Narnia, which was a magic room, and I use that term magic jokingly, where a lot of things just appeared. And we were like,
just the burn bags?
The burn bags, right. Which,
by the way, there are digital copies of everything in the burn bags. You only put stuff in burn bags, including the stuff that they allegedly found, which, by the way, you'll notice nothing has come from that. Not a fucking thing. 0. You guys remember the burn bag story, right? Please tell me, chat room, you guys remember the burn bag story, right? That we found something upstairs and Comey was trying to get rid of, or Ray was trying to get rid of, whatever the fuck they were talking about. They were hiding stuff and keeping it. All right. The idea was that on the 9th floor, there were a bunch of burn bags that hadn't been burned. And that was proof that they were going to destroy stuff and they never got around to it. And lucky us, we found these unburned burn bags with evidence in it, which again, you only burn the paper copy. They don't fucking disappear from the files. They don't disappear from the electronics there. It's so stupid. Yeah, all documents have retention schedules. Exactly. And so they burn them because they don't want them to get out. Shredding doesn't work. because you can you can tape the shit back together. Of course they burn shit all the time. And they were like, we found all this stuff in the burn bags. Have you, anybody, chat room, please tell me, anybody, because I can't follow everything, even though I do a pretty darn good job most of the time of doing exactly that. Have any of you heard anything that came as a case, an arrest, an accusation, and that actually went to court or led to an arrest, even the Comey stuff that was in any of those burn bags? A single fucking thing. Anybody? Because I looked. I could not find one thing from that stupid story. It was like, I want to say it was early last summer. I forget. It all blurs together. Like, they were like, we found it. The mother load. Glenn Beck did episode after episode about the burn bags and the evidence and stuff. And nothing happened. Fucking nothing. Because they went, oh my God, look what we found. And you're like, yeah, it's in the computer. If you just, there's a digital copy of it. You can print out another copy if you want, but it's in there. It's searchable in there. You don't have to rifle through bags of fucking paper that we tear up after meetings. Ugh. It's just so lame. Not a thing. All right, so let me go back to this.
Can you explain a burn bag?
So a burn
Yeah, a burn bag is a bag full of paper and other, I guess in some instances, maybe they could be a thumb drive in there, depending on the furnace that you're using, that would be permanently destroyed. You could do hard drives that way.
bag is just a paper bag, and you throw material in there that is supposed to be burned.
Right. Hence the name.
Burn bag sounds big because it sounds like something nefarious. If you have a paper copy of a document you're not obligated to store, you burn it. So it goes in a burn bag. It would be like in the Secret Service, a motorcade route. You don't want the enemy getting it. You throw it in a burn and they burn it. However, somebody didn't burn these bags. Why? We'll see as the case proceeds, but somebody didn't burn these bags. So we found.
I got a question. Do you suspect maybe somebody purposely put them away that you'd find them because they didn't?
Yeah, somebody intentionally didn't do their job and didn't dispose of stuff, which was protocol, chancing that someone who didn't have clearance would get access to stuff just in case Dan Bongholio got the job.
Like what they're living through?
And this is why I say to people that be careful painting the entire bureau with an overly broad brush. There were a ton of bad actors, and more than I expected, and you are correct about that. But
Jesus Christ, you didn't meet anybody, you fucking tool.
There were a lot of people in there under extreme pressure who, you get where I'm going with this? Who were probably like, this isn't right.
You suspect somebody did it on purpose. They saved it on purpose.
I do. And it was the mother lode. And there was a document in there that we were never meant to find that was basically the keys to the kingdom on Crossfire. And the document was so sensitive, we were not even to carry it outside of the office, outside of an official with the bag.
You mean it was supposed to be burned?
And I wasn't bringing it home. It was a weekend. So I just stayed at the office to read it. It was about 100 pages with the footnotes. The footnotes were probably as interesting.
So it was, I'm guessing, typed an entire report. So it is on the computer that's on your goddamn desk?
Is the actual document. And it took me a good 4 hours to get through this. And I'm reading it.
There is no fucking way he read 100 pages in 4 hours. No way.
Written, 3 books on Spygate, Russiagate. I mean, you covered this. You, John Solomon, Sarah Carter.
Every night. Yeah.
John Solomon's the guy who fucked up the entire Hunter Biden story.
My gosh, every night. And I thought it was bad. And like I told you in the beginning of this interview, like some of the things prior as I came in where I thought this thing was going to be this thing and it turned out to be another thing. This thing I thought was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be worse than bad. I'm reading this document and I'm like, I can't believe this happened in the United States.
Yes, you can. If you're undercover plans all the time have a situation where the undercover agent buys or sells drugs that is tracked or traced. They did the same thing with guns. They found out these guns were going across the border and they're like, they're selling guns to the cartels. Like, no, there are a bunch of people selling guns to the cartels and we're trying to stop it. So we had to send in undercover people to track and trace it, which involves watching that shit get boxed up and sent out the door and going, nice job, even though you're going to report later where it went and who sent it.
And it wasn't just that it happened in the United States. It was that so many people knew about it and nobody had the...
Or I'm talking about Fast and Furious. Same thing. They brought both of these up. Yeah. And Crossfire Hurricane was them literally listening to the Russians and picking up Trump's people all the time.
balls to say to anyone on the 7th floor or in the agency or with some of our foreign partners, like, hey, that's bullshit. It's in the paper. Just read the paper. All you had to do was read it. This thing was bullshit from the start.
No, it wasn't. No. Again, further proof that this asshole did not read 100 pages in 4 hours. Didn't fucking happen. He didn't read it. He flipped through and he read anecdotal quotes from people that he didn't like that gave credence to his own belief system. Nonsense.
No, that's not the story. You knew the Russia hoax was bullshit. Everybody knew it was bullshit.
Nope.
PP tape, all that stuff. That's not the point.
No. The dossier about the PP tape was a guy saying, this is what is the word on the street in Russia. That doesn't mean it's proof. And quite frankly, the PP tape story carried so much weight because it was so prurient and gross that people ignored the actual connections, the financial connections.
The point is, they knew it was bullshit. There is no way they thought this was real.
Yeah, they did. And they still do. And rightly so. It was the intelligence community that wasn't broomed by Trump was still there, was like, yeah, we ran this shit down. Otherwise, why would the Attorney General, Bill Barr, instruct Mueller into not looking into Donald Trump's finances in terms of their connection to Russia, because that would establish the motive for his treasonous behavior in the first place and allow them to trace the financial connection between him and Russia, which was the primary conduit by which they communicated.
Do you know what my level of
idiocy is?
Maybe because we're friends. I'm going to read this again.
Jesus Christ.
We cannot run a republic like this. I'll never be the same after learning what I've learned.
No, I'm not the same. I'm scared.
Okay.
You know why I'm scared? You want me to tell you something?
Yeah.
You know why I wrote that? So I get up Saturday morning. This is bothering me. I hate when people say I lost sleep. I sleep through anything. Doesn't matter. That one night I really did lose sleep.
Just one night? Wow. How do you manage? I'm guessing chemicals?
I think that night I took like 2 theanine pills, like to calm down, because I could not believe what I...
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
What pills?
Theanine, it's an amino acid, like help you calm down.
L-theanine is a compensatory compound that's in green tea, for example. It mitigates the effects of caffeine and keeps you from getting jittery. It's not melatonin, which apparently this dumbass thinks it is.
It's not like Xanax, or it's like over the counter. Well, if I probably would have taken one of those, if I would have had one of those, I could not go to sleep. I'm on the phone with my wife, and I obviously can't tell her. I mean, she's not read in, and it's an open line anyway. And I'm like, I just can't believe what I read. So
I can't believe that you actually read it anyways. So who cares?
Finally get to sleep, and I wake up Saturday morning, and I go to the FBI gym. Well, I lived right up the block, and I'm working out, and I still can't believe like this happened in the United States. I punch out that tweet, and I told Cash, I got to send this out. And I got to tell you, I knew it was going to start a shitstorm, but within 30 seconds, I think it was Brian Yennis or someone on Fox News, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm getting like a bunch of calls, and I was like,
I called you.
I know. I'm like, But listen, I will never be the same. And I'm being as serious as a stroke right now.
I wouldn't say stroke, considering Trump's health.
I'm scared, man. Like, I know what I did, and I'm proud of my work, and I'm proud of what me and Cash accomplished in the past year. Beyond proud.
How are you beyond proud of fucking around and never accomplishing anything on your own? How are you beyond proud of being so shitty at your job, they had to hire another guy to do it before you left?
I know what we did. I know what's coming. I know what I started. I know what I laid out, and I know it's all, you saw a lot of these cases coming out over the past few days even.
No, you didn't.
But don't think for a second.
Yeah, wait. What coming out over the last few days? Comey getting busted over an Instagram post? The fuck out of here.
That I don't think every day, and this is what's really sad, and this is why I know.
I agree. That's the first honest thing he said. I don't think every day. I believe that.
And I never thought this after reading that enough Friday night, that they're going to come for me. And listen, man, it's not a sob story. I knew what I was getting into.
He says this over and over again. Like, I'm not a tough guy. It's not a sob story. I'm not whining. I'm not saying I'm tough or whatever. it's just the mission.
But it happened to the president, and he went through just the worst, just destruction of his civil liberties.
Really? You don't think the Epstein victims went through something worse? You don't think that Epstein himself, in theory, experienced a destruction of his civil liberties during the last Trump administration? A rich asshole going to court over fraud he committed is a destruction of his civil liberties.
I've ever seen.
Well, then you obviously have your head so far up your ass, you can see Sean Hannity.
But I say to my wife all the time, I know, Sean, I can look you in the face as a friend, tell you and your millions of viewers and listeners.
Couple 100,000. I mean, this is the after show. The numbers aren't that great.
I promise you.
By the way, they have the show on his own channel and Fox News' channel, and combined, it says 272,000 views, mostly from the Fox main channel, because mostly the people watch from there now anymore because they're like, I don't trust mainstream news, so I watch independent media. I watch Fox on YouTube.
Everything I did with a dotted I and a crossed T. I brought in my own attorney from the outside person.
Well, I think pretty much everybody in the administration would be advised to do that.
A wonderful, wonderful person. I said, no, everything is going to be by the book. Everything. I'm confident in that. And you know what? It don't matter. They'll rewrite the book, just like they did for President Trump. And I said to my wife, I said, I got to.
No. Asshole. Stop acting like you stayed on his entire term and he just got voted out and you're leaving then. You didn't even make it through the first fucking year. Trump is still president. All of his people run these things. What are you talking about?
14-year-old. The presidency could change. I hope it doesn't in a little over 2 years. You don't think on election night
Sorry, you want to violate the Constitution?
Lose, it's not going through my head. They're going to send some thugs to my house.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Shut up. Dude, you aren't important. You don't know anything. You could read a classified document all the way through while someone watches you read it and makes you read it out loud so they know that every word at least entered your eyeballs, bounced off what you call a brain, and came out your fucking gob. And they would be like, he doesn't understand. He doesn't know anything. This dude can't leak anything. He doesn't even understand the concepts.
I was never the same after that because...
God, it's the paranoids. Yeah, it's the paranoids version of a humble brag.
After reading what I read about how many people did this to President Trump, this Russia hoax,
including him and his accountant.
collusion, crossfire hurricane bullshit, and not a single person stopped them. I'm terrified that they're just not going to do the right thing when they're in charge. We did the right. I can tell you right now, like, there have been cases that were brought to us by field agents, by the way, not by the White House never called us to invest. That's all bullshit. Like, if
Well, nobody called you for anything. Stupid.
you think they're stupid? They stay out of that stuff. They let us do the law enforcement stuff. There have been cases against public figures.
That's because the DOJ does it. She calls and tells Cash, go look into some shit. What are you talking about? They've had press conferences about it.
Stuff where they just filter up through tips and stuff. And even though it would have been, whatever, a big Twitter thing if we did, we didn't do it. Like there's one specific case. I can't get it deep, but it made a lot of news. It was a huge arrest. It was a coast to coast thing, involved mob figures and things like that. Do you have any idea how many more people we could have arrested on that case? And you know what? It wasn't a good use of FBI assets. And it wasn't about Twitter hits or anything like that. I can't tell you with a straight face when these people get in charge, these hooligans that were in charge of the other side, that they're not going to throw us all in jail for felonious mopery on the open seas. Like, what's that? I don't know. They made it up. Like, they will. And I know I wouldn't do that.
Okay. So, real quick. This asshole knows that he was engaged in a cover-up of the Epstein files during the time where the law was passed, and he was a participant in the cover-up of the Epstein files. And that's what he's worried about. That's why he left, to try and mitigate the damage and distance himself from the ongoing shitstorm that is going to come of any kind of comeuppance if there are congressional hearings and referrals to the DOJ if Donald Trump's people get out of there and other people come in. That they're going to look into who redacted Trump's name and evidence against him and his friends from the Epstein files on purpose to protect him from, the public finding out about this. And this asshole participated in it for 8 months, clearly was getting guilty and scared about it. And what he's trying to do is like, they're going to come after me for whatever. Nope. They're going to come after you for your participation in hiding Donald Trump's culpability in the Epstein files. That's what they're going to do. And you're going to go, they just don't like me. Nope. And they're going to have plenty of evidence, and you know it. He is covering his ass with this shit. That's right, Susan. So this is him getting ahead of things. It's almost like he can see it coming with the midterms. Because believe me, if they're subpoenaing Pam Bondi and they're holding her in contempt and she's actually going to have to come in, and she actually does, guess who's coming next? Guess who's coming next? And this asshole will plead the fifth. Because I don't want some thugs showing up at my door. So anyways, that's the end of that shit. But holy hell. Just whinging, pathetic. Ugh. So, where is this? Yeah. Okay. I know I have. Where are you? You silly thing. Get away. That was the. Oh yeah. So there have been a couple of people. There's Garamendi. I'll show you the kind of back and forth between them, and there are two versions of this. I think maybe it's just the second round of questions. But let's see which one's that one. Yeah. So this is here we go. I gotta use this. I haven't made buttons for these things yet. So this is yet another Hegseth.
Garamendi.
This is John Garamendi.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary and General Kane, let me begin by thanking the men and women of the United States military for their service and their bravery. I recognize that our service members have performed with extraordinary courage and tactical skill and they've done incredible things that our country has asked them to. Their professionalism and selfless service are not in question and never have been. What is in question is the purposes and the strategic direction of this war. Mr. Hegseth, as Secretary of the Department of Defense, you are ultimately responsible for the conduct of the Iran war. Any unvarnished review of what is happening right now in the Middle East would reveal a geopolitical calamity, a strategic blunder resulting in worldwide economic crisis. The result of Trump's war of choice is a serious, self-inflicted wound to America. It will take years and a new administration to recover from the grave damage to our standing in the world, as well as our economy and our military. We must remember that 13 Americans have been killed in action, hundreds wounded, and thousands of civilians killed, including more than 100 school children. The risk of this conflict was foreseeable. I'm certain that the Department of Defense knew that it was likely that in a war with Iran, Iran would create an international economic crisis by blocking the Strait of Hormuz and thus stopping 20% of the world's oil. Was this
By the way, nice Ukraine tie Garamendi's wearing. Just saying.
existential threat considered? Apparently not. During the 60 days of Trump's Iran war, critical munitions have been expended at an alarming rate, depleting magazine levels below what is thought necessary to hold China at bay. It will take years and tens of billions of dollars to restock. A significant part of the necessary Navy.
Yeah, but we had fun, didn't we? I mean, like, you see, like, how fucking awesome it was? Like, stuff blowing up. It's crazy, bro.
And Marine Force in the Pacific has been removed and sent to support the Iran war. Our support of Ukraine has suffered as supplies and defense systems are diverted to the Iran war. America has lost irreplaceable aircraft, radar systems, and strategic bases have been shown to be vulnerable. The continued lengthy deployment of ships, equipment, and personnel has sacrificed readiness. We know what we have lost, but what have we gained? Let's consider.
Well, the Strait of Hormuz is, yeah. But they don't have any of their nuclear, yeah, right. But their ballistic missiles, shit.
That the regime in Tehran is still intact, with new and more radical leadership, as are Iran's ballistic missile and drone forces, as is Iran's ability to rebuild their military industries. Also, as is Iran's coordination with China, Russia, and North Korea, and Iran's ability to choke off global energy supplies, and their stockpile of highly enriched uranium, which they only built after President Trump shredded President Obama's Iran deal in 2017. Secretary Hegseth, you have been lying to the American public about this war from day one, and so has the President. You have misled the public about why we are at war. You and the President have offered ever-changing reasons.
Why can't they show an angle of Hegseth stewing during this one? I want the dual angle shot. That was sweet.
For this war. You've misled the public about the progress of the war. While the military has executed this war with tactical success, the strategy has been an astounding incompetence, doing immense economic damage to America.
Mr. Chairman,
and the
Mr.
world.
Chairman, with the personal attack on the Secretary, he should have an opportunity to respond.
He certainly
Thank
will.
you.
When
No, at the time
Well,
you're doing
finished.
it.
It's the gentleman's time. He can use it as he sees fit and add an extra 5 seconds to Mr. Garamendi's time.
Thank you. You and the President are ever-changing reasons for the war. You have misled
Yeah, you should give him a chance to obfuscate and bitch a little bit.
the public about the progress of the war. While the military has executed this war with tactical success, the strategy has been an outstanding example of incompetence. This war of choice is a political and economic disaster at every level. Despite the president's promise to lower the cost of living, gas prices are up 40%, and inflation is soaring. So much for lowering the cost of living. The president has got himself and America stuck in the quagmire of another war in the Middle East. He's desperately trying to extricate himself.
Yes, are personal attacks allowed? Because the witnesses needs an opportunity to make personal attacks.
From his own mistakes. It is in America's and indeed the world's interest that he succeed in that. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Chair, and I recognize.
Nothing. Like, you're not going to answer questions. I'm not going to ask them. Stupid. This was that was the whole section of that. Yeah, Giramondi just was like, yeah, he's not going to answer anything anyway, so fuck him. Okay, there are a couple things I need to check in on that are right in line with the, they're kind of like, they're other, parallel pieces of this catamaran of idiocy that we deal with all the time. Yes, and I appreciate that he called it quagmire as well. Giggity giggity. So this so so Turd Nugget has really had this he's captain of the team of maggots that goes after the government when Trump's in charge and he doesn't like what's going on. It's the government. When Biden's in there, it's all Biden and the left-wing people that are, backing him up or telling him what to do or auto-penning him or whatever the shit. It's always personal. When it's Trump, it's like some magical force behind Trump is making him do this. So apparently Uncle Sam wants total control while Trump is in office. And also, I'd like to point out that I don't know how old this picture is, but it's been tinted. Let's just go there.
We've seen war. We don't want help me, God.
I know why you're here, because everybody needs a spirit campfire with an old guitar player from the Motor City. Because before I...
Yeah, they really don't. We're just here because it's kind of hilarious that you kind of use you kind of borrowing someone else's culture to appear tough. That's why you have a stick figure drawing of an Indian with a spear on your safe.
I was born, it was just known
because you think it gives you some sort of gravitas.
As the city. But once I was there, there was so much more motoring going on that Uncle Ted has arrived December 13th, 1948. And I didn't invent giddiness, but I perfected it.
Yeah, giddy is how we would describe like a schoolgirl.
First year before the hunting season of 1949. Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm like high on Mother Nature.
You mean weed? Or
see this staring into the hinterland? I'm staring into your spirit, into your heart and soul.
No, you are not.
No, it's just technology. Which
you are staring into, I'm fairly certain, a Logitech C920. What kind of quality are we looking at? So like 720p?
By the way, I hate all this technology. I get down to earth and grounded. That's why you're here, because there's only one spirit campfire among this amalgamation. Is that a word, amalgamation?
No, it isn't. Also, there's a lot of spirit campfires, and they exist sort of in reality as opposed to a branding attempt.
This cluster crank.
I don't know. I can't even see you because of the camo. It's just making you practically invisible.
Of high-tech, bizarro world. But Uncle Ted is like Natty Bumppo. Look it up.
Nah.
Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, Scott Young, Fred Bear. So I'm going to start my day. I've already started my day. Welcome.
Yeah, because they had compound bows and indoor plumbing and HVAC.
Back to the Ted Nugent Real America Voice Spirit Campfire. I started my day here at Spirit Wild Ranch, observing the glorious biodiversity
of a compound bow, just like Mother Nature wants me to make.
Of the Nugent Serengeti in Central Texas. And we're going to get into the horror story of how Texas ain't Texas. Now, the Texans I know are the best people in the world, just like the people in Michigan, all 50 states, all across Canada. Everybody that I know are
I only like the people I know.
rock solid in the...
Yeah, that's what it means to be a celebrity who lives in a bubble. And granted, I use celebrity in this case with air quotes.
asset column. Productive, conscientious, caring, good over evil, participating in
Oh, you mean your employees?
their own guiding of the
People you hire to like drive you places and hand you whatever instrument you're using to kill something, and then you can hand it back like it's fucking golf clubs.
their destiny. Independence, rugged individualism. It's alive.
Etc., etc.
Well, but I start my day every day with a Matthews bow. I'm here to help. I'm here to help, right? I'm like your guide and outfitter. I'm like the Lewis and Clark of your Sacagawea canoe going into...
Well, if it was a fishing boat with an electric motor and I guess a 12-pack.
Uncharted territory, looking for the Northwest Passage to a true North Compass setting. Are you still with me? Of course you're still with me.
No. You lost us a long time ago. We just kind of don't give a shit.
Because I see a lot of these talking heads, and Eric Bolling is the...
Yeah, all of them are just so focused on actually saying something. I don't get it.
best. I love Eric Bolling. I love...
Really?
Glenn Beck. I love Mark...
What's his name?
I love all these guys.
Yeah, Mark. 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 He means Mark Levin, by the way, but he's probably either forgot, brain farted it, or he recognizes that there's a big section of MAGA that doesn't like Mark Levin right now for Jewy reasons.
Mark Davis in Dallas. I love Michael Berry. I miss Frank Beckman on WJR in Detroit. But I start my day completely escaped. In a pristine physics of spirituality sanctuary zone. Not a sanctuary city. We're actually...
Oh, you mean you wake up every morning without a thought in your head?
Provide sanctuary to evil people so they can continue robbing and rape and stealing our tax dollars from Somalia like the Democrat Party. But we'll get into that in a minute, because it is the ugliest royal cluster crank in the history of the free world. America is on the cusp of total terminal toilet flushing.
Which is exactly where one would expect it to be after a year of Trump.
Thanks to Uncle Sam's satanic agenda.
All right, well, let's hear it. Uncle Sam has a satanic agenda.
Of total control of we the people. But look at me. My name is Ted Nugent. Look at that's a smile on my face. You know it don't come cheap. Sure, I live the American dream.
Right, yeah, we understand caps.
And go ahead and crucify me. So I got my Matthews bow.
Yeah, again, this is like Bongholio. You're not important enough to crucify, dude. This is just mockery.
My Fred Bear arrow. This is a Fred Bear.
Thank you, Tara, for sorry. Scroll down, damn it. It's always hard. Whoops. There it is. Tara T. Thank you for getting my my webcam joke. Feel it. It means a lot to me that you would. All right.
Arrow from Boning Archery up there in Lake City, Michigan. Guys.
Yeah, and you could buy it at Dick's Sporting Goods and stuff like that. It's not like somebody fucking whittled this goddamn thing.
That have been celebrating the true escape, the martial arts, the spirit of self-control and discipline.
The martial arts? Dude, that bow is to bow hunting what a hand grenade is to martial arts.
Pursuing with all our vim and vigor. What is vim, by the way? How about piss and vinegar? I'd rather pursue everything with piss and vinegar.
Well, it's just, from the smell we're getting of you, success. Congratulations.
And I do, but I dropped my old Scott. Bill Scott, what a great innovator. But I was born in 1948 when Fred Bear and George Nichols and Bruce Gilpin and Raleigh Harms and Ben, did I say Ben Pearson? But
Nobody
Fred
cares.
Bear, they were guiding the return to total independence.
What the fuck? Get on with it. And yeah, he's got burn bags under his eyes. I know. I feel like he's been punched. It's that bad. Maybe go to sleep. Maybe get some fucking sleep. I'm just saying. That's rough. I don't think he drinks. I think he's a teetotaler. So there's no excuse for it. If you're waking up with this free mind and you're, at peace with the world, I'm not buying it.
Independence of spirit and pursuit of happiness.
And other phrases.
Accomplished that with my Matthews bow every morning.
And your little clip to hold it, because like pulling the string with my fingers, it really chafes. I don't like it. When you like pull it with your fingers and you place the arrow, like I don't like it. So I have one of those little clips. It's on my keychain. I use that instead. That's what he's using, by the way. He's using a like a trigger clasp.
Every morning.
See that right there? That's a little trigger clasp. It pulls the bow for you so your fingers don't hurt. Isn't that adorable? Compound bow and a fucking trigger clasp. What a frontiersman. I'm beginning to think that shirt isn't made out of real leaves.
Bullseye. So get yourself
You'll have to take his word for it.
a damn bow and arrow, no matter how.
I have a bow and arrow. I have an actual long bow. I have a short bow, and I have a compound bow. It's jet black, and I got it in the 80s when I was 15 years old. I was 15 years old because I wanted Rambo's bow, so I have that model. And you could take it apart with an Allen wrench and fold it up and all that kind of shit. It was great. Still works great. It's got a good pull on it.
Stupid the world gets, and can it possibly get any stupider?
Yes, I mean they could pick whatever the fuck this is up for another season or whatever.
Is stupider a word anymore?
It is now. Congratulations, Ted. You're a lyricist.
Stupid.
All right.
Well, next to my
leave off the fucking bow and arrow and fucking get to the Satan part. How do you breeze past a satanic agenda by Uncle Sam and then get distracted jacking off with your compound bow?
Matthews bow is something very different, an inexpensive return of the Silvertone guitar, the Sears Silvertone guitar. These guys are putting this back together. No, I got a guitar pick here somewhere.
Yeah, he's got his mic on voice isolation.
You probably can't hear that, but anyhow.
No, you can't.
Through an amplifier, this Silvertone guitar is so inexpensive in the world of outrageously expensive guitars. We're turning a lot of people on to the effervescent spirit soundtrack.
Effervescent?
Of guitar sounds, guitar music. Guitars are the ultimate instrument of self-expression and universal communication, because music is universal communication. Welcome back to the Spirit Campfire. I'm high on dogs. Sadie.
Jesus Christ. I can't, I don't know. This isn't going anywhere. I was expecting, we're halfway into this. Uncle Sam wants total control. He's casting aspersions on fucking America, and he's going to show a gun, and he's going to show guitar strings or some shit, and he's got a fucking silencer on his, and he's selling fucking picks. So sorry. So this is where we are right now. Turd Nugget is attacking Uncle Sam as clickbait to sell shit. I don't, why, obviously, we should have seen it coming. Yeah, Spider, you called it. Spider says, told you it was a commercial. Good Lord. Okay, one more thing. Where is this? How am I doing on time? Okay, I've got a couple minutes left, and I want to get to this. The where is it? Like Trump, you know, he appeared before the astronauts today, but he, honest to God, it was so embarrassing because he didn't feel comfortable, I think, talking about anything that has to do with NASA just because it's too complicated for his brain. Honestly, I feel like it was just like, can I move on? I'd rather talk about what a fuck up the Iran war is than talk about this because I don't. Hold on, I'm trying to find the actual clip of it because he did a Q&A. And wait, okay, I can't pass this one up. I'm sorry. We got to do this one. This is much better. But then I'll grab the other one and give me a second. Nancy Mace shows a picture of Corey Mills and a Russian prostitute on the House floor. Oh, some days it's just so wonderful. The experiences we all have. Shock moment. Nancy Mace unveils alleged photo of Corey Mills and Russian prostitute during hearing. And in case you don't know, Corey Mills is a Republican congressperson from Florida.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
This is about to get fucking awkward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I request unanimous consent to enter a number of documents into the record.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I need the Jaws theme. Wobum, wobum, wobum. Wobum, wobum, wobum.
The first of which is a statement from Corey Mills, First Sergeant, stating his forms and accounts of his military service are falsified. The second document is a picture of Corey Mills wearing a Bronze Star from 2019 before he ever got a Bronze Star. The third document is a document.
Ouch! Again, this is a Republican talking about another Republican. She must just be so tired of winning, she needs a break.
That conveys a Bronze Star medal and his life-saving care to the wounded, and according to the soldiers who were there, they said it never happened, according to the men who were there.
Goddamn.
The next document is a transcript of a conversation I had with Brigadier General Arnold Gordon Bray, who confirmed that he did not review, did not read, did not physically sign the form DD, I guess 638, form 638, that Mills submitted for a Bronze Star. And to be candid, he said, quote, I didn't look at it.
So Hegseth just gave it to him?
Asked to review the email that he sent to Mills' staff about authorizing his signature for a form he did not review, and he said that he would not share it with me. That's a future subpoena. I would like
It's because somebody else signed it for him.
enter to record a picture of Corey Mills, who says this is the second time he got blown up, but what he wouldn't tell people that the blood on the pant leg in this photo is the blood of Sergeant Ray. It is not Corey Mills' blood. In the same series of photos he shares when he said he was, quote, blown up, are images of a Humvee that exploded with severe damage. That is not his Humvee. His Humvee purportedly was 50 yards away and suffered no damage and was not blown up. This
Yeah, but he was 50 yards away. That's scary. It's a big noise. It's very shocking.
a copy of Corey Mills' marriage certificate with a 9/11 imam at a 9/11 mosque entered for the
Jesus Christ.
record and redacted, with family members' names redacted and protected. This is a picture of Corey Mills with a purported Russian hooker.
I'm just saying, some of you say she doesn't make good use of her time in Congress. And I would like to tell you folks lovingly to sit down and let her cook.
In Afghanistan, which she, of course, denies. And then last but not least,
He denies that she was in Afghanistan, or that wasn't Afghanistan. I was in Moscow on a set.
I would like to request unanimous consent to enter into the record a restraining order against Corey Mills for dating violence. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just buried my father on Thursday, Mr. Chairman. My father died with shrapnel in his body. He had 3 tours of combat, 2 in Vietnam, 1 in 1965 during the coup d'etat of the Dominican Republic. And I take stolen valor seriously because we have men and women in uniform that have given their lives. And an individual that steals the stories of dead soldiers or injured soldiers have no right to serve in this body, let alone on this committee.
Damn.
And so I take it very seriously. I want to thank you, Mr. Secretary, and the folks that serve under you in the Department of War as my
And I want to know, did you sign this Bronze Star bullshit?
father lay dying on April 14th. There was only one thing that calmed him down, that gave him the courage to pass on to the next life.
And that was watching the bombing of Iran.
And that was for me to read stories and testimony from 3 different soldiers that we didn't have, our family previously didn't have. We've been doing a lot of research on my father's service when he received the Distinguished Service Cross with V device in 1968 in Dong Zai. He rescued every man in that battle, in that firefight, over a 2-day period. He rescued them dead or alive on his own. He stood up to take fire over and over and over again. He called on artillery, heavy artillery, onto his position within 100 meters of his position. The man should have never made it out of Vietnam alive. And in fact, his commanding officers kept him back in many cases because they thought he was on a suicide mission because he was just so dangerous out there. But he saved the lives of so many soldiers. And so as he was taking his final breaths, I was provided by the Department of the Army some testimony of soldiers we didn't have, and diagrams and information. It was the one thing that calmed him down so that he could pass away knowing that he was a war hero and knowing that Jesus loved him. And
sorry, you had a story from Jesus as well? I would submit that into the record.
it changed our family's life, and it changed his life in his last moments, his last breaths, his last hours. And for that, I am so grateful for the ship that you're running at the Pentagon and the Department of War. I have
running
from people in the way that you're trying to innovate and trying to change the way we do business there.
Yeah, like that whole coordinated functioning thing that we used to do. That's so 2024.
And I'm glad that you're firing people. There are people there that are getting in your way. They need to go. And the efficiencies that you want to bring, whether it's shipbuilding, whether it's cyber, whether it's AI, whether it's public-private partnerships, we have never seen a secretary at the Department of War who has been as innovative as you have. So
yeah, nobody has wanted to take their job and outsource it quicker.
I can't say enough good things about.
Yeah, there's what a great way to avoid blame and responsibility yourself by just basically, taking every aspect of the military and just shoving it into somebody else's lap.
You right now. I was impressed. I was concerned about troops on the ground in Iran early on, and I was impressed with where we are today, how those soldiers were evacuated that got in that flight that crashed. But everything I have seen, you have surpassed all of my expectations.
Okay. Again, broken clock moment on the Corey Mills stuff, but we're back to your regularly scheduled dipshittery after this. I mean, again, it's Nancy Mace, so you don't get too excited. It's like when fucking MTG says something like reasonable every so often, and you're like, what the hell is going on? And then you're like, wait for it. All right, there's gonna be, okay, hold on. Let's do this. Back to here. One last thing. Join with me. Come on, kids. Here we go. Let's see. Trump. Let's see. Q&A today. All right. This is did they cut away? There we go. Yeah, I think this is the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay. You'll notice, by the way, that in all these situations, Trump is already seated in the room constantly. Like this is, sorry, 1 second. Is that Okay, dunk. There we go. There we go. They're not watching him walk out and have a seat in any of these. This is all like staged ahead of time. And by the way, they gave him a little toy in a little glass case for him to play with. Isn't that cool? Like a piece of space stuff, along with the 3 books he will never open and are too heavy for him to lift, and a golden moon, which I think, many of us would probably give him if he drove down our street.
We have some people that have captivated the attention of the whole world.
The imagination is the word.
Not just our country, the whole world. And they're very brave. And there was a lot of rocket under them. I never sort of think.
That was a lot of rocket under them. Sure.
Like that. We were talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about how, like, it was a rocket that rocketed a lot. It was really rocketing.
I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't want
Well, they sit still, basically, and they try to survive.
to do it. But it takes people.
Well, they don't pedal. You do realize that, you dumb motherfuckers. It's a ride, and then they get up there, and then they pilot it.
Like this to make our country great. And again, I've never seen anything. Everybody I knew, they wanted to see the launch, and they especially wanted to see a successful landing. And Jared,
Yeah, that you kind of want both of those things. As a pilot myself, one of the things you always try to do is have the same number of landings as you have takeoffs. It's kind of job one.
I want to congratulate you what you've done at NASA. I made a great choice.
Yeah, other people talked you into it. Thank God.
And if you have any questions for any of us, feel free to ask. But we're very proud of these people. They have unbelievable courage, unbelievable. A lot of other things too, by the way. To get in there, you have to be very smart. Have to do a lot of things physically good. So
yeah, you got to do things physically good. Sure. You got to do the spinny chair, and you got to eat roast beef through a straw. Physically good.
I would have had no trouble making it. And physically very, very good. Maybe a little bit of a problem. I'm not sure. We'll have to try it sometime.
Yes, we should try it sometime. Yes. Please. Have them, the next one that goes up in 2027, be aboard.
President allowed to go up in one of these missions?
No.
We can get working on that, Mr. President.
We'd have no problem, right?
We're going to launch more rockets. The opportunity.
We'll have to try it. Congratulations.
Yeah, we'll have to try it. Mm-hmm. I want to see him do astronaut training, especially the underwater stuff and the gravity chair.
Congratulations.
I think he would enjoy the toilet.
Much. And by the way,
he'd want Walt Nada to go with him to operate it, but
families are over here, beautiful families, and they're in the Oval Office, and they walked.
Yes, this is the Oval Office. I don't know if you're familiar.
And they said, "Wow."
They said, "Wow."
Oval Office. Everybody likes the Oval Office. So.
Yeah, so they said, "Wow, the Oval Office." So they were like amazed, like wow, it's so oval,
Any questions, please, President?
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, it's a great honor to meet all of you. Congratulations, and welcome to the White House. I have had the privilege of interviewing Gene Cernan, the last man to walk on the moon.
Good. Thanks for telling me who he is.
Is that what you would like to do? And Mr. President, do you think that will happen during your second term?
Well, we have a shot at it. I mean, we don't like to say definitely, because then you say, "Oh, we failed." Because I think we could say.
Well, I mean, Kennedy didn't make it, but he said definitely. We choose to do these things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Like my penis, right, Marilyn? We're
ahead of schedule, so we have a good shot. We've authorized it, and I think with this team and with Jared's done such an amazing job at NASA, I think we have a good shot, right? We'll see.
Yes, Mr. President, we have an achievable plan now back to the moon, and we're back in the business of launching moon rockets with frequency. So we just sent Artemis 2 around the moon. We're going to launch Artemis 3 in 2027. We'll protect for up for 2 opportunities in 2028 to return astronauts to the surface of the moon.
I like space. I started Space Force, as you've heard.
I like space.
well know. It's been very, very important. And
That's why I have so much of it between my ears. I'm just a big fan of space. I'm comfortable there, like the uncomfortable kind between my words. Love space.
tried to kill it. And actually, the military would not let the Biden administration kill it. They wanted to kill it.
They did not. The Biden administration did not try to kill Space Force. Space Force was just renamed under Trump. It already existed as an extension of the Air Force. Silly person.
And it's going to turn out to be one of our most important things. I think it'll turn out to be one of the most important things they did. But
in about 1,000 years,
involved with NASA bringing it back. And I was saying when I first looked at some of your facilities, they had grass growing on the runways right in between the cracks of the asphalt. And but not anymore. It's really strong.
Yeah. We're really doing great things with NASA right now. We've got my lawn guys from Mar-a-Lago down there so I can write it off.
And you know what they do? One of the things they do that's so important is for our military offense and defense. And a lot of people say, well, is it worth it? It's really worth it because what's happened
Well, I'm
militarily.
convinced. They ask, and I was like, yes.
You see what we're doing militarily. A lot of that comes from space. So it's been.
Yeah, the excellent point, by the way. Rockets don't use a runway. That's just the road that goes out there for the. Okay.
Pretty great. Good question. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two questions for you. First, on the topic of space, do you have an update on the UFO files and when we're going to be seeing those?
Well, I think we're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. For some reason, and I guess it's just a reason it's been in the minds of people for a long time.
That's not a reason.
And that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything
having to do with UFOs?
Having to do with UFO or related material. And we're going to be.
Oh, so not just UFOs, but U's and FO.
Releasing a lot of.
We're going to talk about UFOs and UFO-ish things. You mean UAP?
Things from that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people. I've interviewed people.
You think it's going to be interesting to very people? You mean of interest?
My first term primarily, but
I swear to God, sometimes when he talks, it makes me twitch like Noah Wiley on The Pit. You know those moments where he's just like, he gets some bad news or something's fucked up and he goes like trying not to snap or cry. I just caught myself doing that.
Interviewed some pilots, very solid people, and they said they saw things that you wouldn't believe. So.
Why are they liars? Because I mean, they're legit. I would believe them. You're
going to be reading about it, yes.
So you're going to be reading about the stuff that you wouldn't believe from the people that I might release on the thing because people are interested in UFO and UFO related UFO stuff.
You spoke to Vladimir Putin not too long ago. Did you talk?
Yeah, by the way, he spoke to Putin for 90 minutes today.
To him about
today.
Did you talk to him about progress in the space area? And what else did you talk
I didn't talk about space. No, I talked about Ukraine, and I talked a little bit about Iran. I talked about a few different subjects, mostly about Ukraine, and we had a very good conversation. I think we're going to come up with a solution relatively quickly.
Yeah, you still think that, Mr. 24 hours in one phone call? I have a question. Why? Why in the fuck would you still think that, asshole? Yeah, any day now. 2 weeks, right?
What does he want?
I think you'd like to see a solution. I can tell.
Really? Why would you think that?
You.
You know he could solve it. He could just get the fuck out. Like, nobody in Europe's going to let Ukrainians beat the fuck out of people for speaking Russian in the Donbass. Like, they'll still get voting rights at schools and running water. Russia could fuck off and all those people will be fine. He could solve it. He could finish it yesterday.
That's good.
What involvement does he want to have in the Iran situation?
He told me
He told me what to do.
I'd like to be involved with the enrichment if he can help us get it. I said I'd much rather have you be involved with ending the war with Ukraine. To me, that would be more important because we're gonna have that. Look, we're not gonna let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and
Yeah, I thought we solved that last year. The word was obliteration, I think.
knocked out their Navy, we've knocked out their Air Force, we've knocked out their anti-aircraft, everything, apparatus, everything they have, their radar.
Yeah, the apparatus. That's what I was looking for. That's the word I always like. What is that? It's on the.
They have very little left, and they have some missiles, a small percentage. They have a small percentage of missile-making facilities. We knocked out about 80%.
So they have facilities and they have missiles left over. What understandable. When you say small percentage, does that mean like compared to the rest of the world or what they used to have? And also if it's compared to what they used to have, there could still be 1,000, maybe 5,000. Maybe you don't fucking know.
Of them. The rest could come very quickly if we don't make a deal. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They know it, and just about everybody else does. And so we talked about that a little bit. He doesn't want to see them have a nuclear weapon either. But I had a long talk with President Putin. I suggested a little bit of a ceasefire, and I think he might do that. He might announce something having to do with that. Did he announce it yet?
No, he didn't. He didn't talk to you for 90 minutes about Iran and announce a ceasefire in Ukraine.
No, but I was wondering, I was just going to ask you.
Yeah, no, I asked him about...
Did he announce it? Did you guys hear anything? I mean, who the fuck am I? I'm just the president. You'd think they'd have put a note on my desk or something.
Even if it's a little ceasefire, there's so many...
Yeah, a little one, a partial ceasefire. Like some dude with one gun reloads for a moment. It's like a micro ceasefire.
People being killed is so ridiculous.
Thank you, Mr. President. In light of today's Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act, do you want Republican states in the South to look at redrawing congressional districts before
I
the
don't really have
midterms?
to tell me, when did the ruling come out? I've been...
Oh. He got briefed on this morning. He did. There is no way.
With the astronauts, I've been with contractors because we're trying to get the ballroom built.
Yeah, that's way more important than the voting rights of Americans.
Ahead of schedule. It's right on schedule. It's ahead of schedule now. I want to keep it that way.
Came out today,
And I was also with commissioning some people, but one of, David Warrington's son. I don't know, David. Everybody knows David. He's got
everybody knows him.
This incredible son. So he was.
So you gave him a government job?
Just
like a no-show government job?
Awesome. And so we had other things. Tell me about the what happened.
Well, some think that the ruling could create more Republican-held congressional seats in the South.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's the kind of ruling I like.
Would you want them to
When did that
Yeah, it also might not, dum-dum.
happen?
Well, the Supreme...
Fuck me. Like, this is just...
Dum 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 dum. Dumb, dumb, stupid, dumb, silly, stupid, dumb, dumb, dumb. Dumpy, dippy, dumb, dumb.
What happened at the SCOTUS this morning?
ruled on it this morning.
Really? Is that right? You tell me about the ruling.
Oh, fucking hell. Really? And here's the thing. They'll tell him, they'll probably use the same words he was told earlier, and he still won't remember it. Yeah, he's being briefed by reporters right now, Kareem. Yeah, exactly.
This is CNN fake news.
On your call with
Well, then why are you asking them to explain the SCOTUS ruling to you?
President Putin today, do you think the war in Iran ends first or the war in Ukraine?
Well, we talked about more.
Don Jr.'s on Polymarket, and he's asking me to do stuff to try and, I don't know.
About the war in Ukraine, but he would like to be of help. I said, before you help me, I want to end your war. So
that is his war in Ukraine.
We had a good talk. I've known him a long time. I think he was ready to make a deal a while ago. I think some people made it difficult for him to make a deal.
Yeah, you mean the people who want to live and not be raped by psychotic murderers from prisons. It's ironic that Russia is doing exactly what you accused South Americans of doing to the United States.
But we talk more about Ukraine.
But which war do you think ends first?
That's an interesting question. You know, coming from you, that's very interesting. Which war would end first? I don't know. Maybe they're on a similar timetable. I think Ukraine, militarily, they're defeated. Okay, you wouldn't know that by reading the fake news, but
okay. By the way, he means Iran. That will become clear.
Militarily, look, their Navy. So they had 159 ships.
Ukraine never had 100 ships. Never had 9 ships. They never had a navy. He means Iran, but of course his brain is a fucking flan on asphalt. So
every ship is right now underwater.
Yes, every ship they never had.
Typically, that's pretty good. What do you think, Jared? I mean,
why are you asking the guy from NASA about ships being sunk?
It's hard for them to make a naval comeback. Okay, now they have an Air Force. Every one of their planes has been shot down or has been decimated. They have missiles, about 80.
Again, he has not corrected Ukraine versus Iran. He meant to say Iran, but his brain is tapioca.
2% are gone, and they have drones, and most of them are gone.
This is almost the closest he came to some truth about Ukraine, which is they have drones, except for the part where they're not gone. They've got lots.
Factories are mostly gone, and we have tremendous anti-drone equipment now, between lasers and that new, very special machine gun that knocks them out of the air like flies. And we use bullets instead of $1 million, missiles to knock out a $30,000 drone. So I would say Jared would tell me that with everything you just heard, typically we're in pretty good shape. And in addition, their economy.
He's just not going to figure out that he's been talking about Ukraine this whole time.
Is crashing. As you know, their money, they call it their money. They don't have a name for it. Their money.
Yeah, they do. That's what they call it. They don't have a name for their money. The Iranians, let's just put aside that he said Ukraine for a moment. According to Donald Trump, the Iranians do not have a name for their currency. They don't even know what to call it.
Is valueless. They've got inflation that nobody's ever seen before. Other than that, I think they're doing quite well. If you read the New York Times, you'd say they're doing wonderfully because it's fake news. Or if you watch CNN, I mean, you cover it all the time. You think they're doing well. Do you think they're doing well where they
Ukraine?
No Navy, no Air Force, no anti-aircraft apparatus, other than what they...
No, I don't think that Ukraine has no Navy, no Air Force, no apparatus.
They may have brought in some light stuff during the ceasefire, and we know exactly where it is, so it'll be knocked out within the first 15 minutes.
Why is it still? Why are you letting them set it up? It's like a room full of people going, Iran, you meant Iran, asshole.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want to go back to the Supreme Court ruling on the Voting Rights Act. I know you said you haven't seen it.
When did it come out? Just now?
No, it came out this morning.
Yeah, long time ago.
But basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
Oh my God. Was it considered a win for... What are we even supposed to... How is this a thing? Why in the world is it... It's considered a for who? This is... Why would you even say... How is it considered a win for who? Dum 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 stupid dumb silly stupid dum dum. So you're asking how the fake news is reporting it to find out whether you should be for it or against it, even though the fake news is not to be believed.
I love it.
But my question...
This is a very good... We can end this news conference right now. I want to read it.
My question
Wow.
to you, Mr. President, is
Wow, I don't even know what it means. Wow.
that some Republican governors have not responded in terms of what they're going to do. I guess early voting, for example, in Louisiana.
Republican governors, what?
Republican governors.
What about it?
Early voting begins.
Oh my God. You just go. I'm going to get briefed by my people afterwards, but I'm hoping my party makes best use of it and everyone has the right to vote. Like how it's odd how me just saying what would be a normal phrase sounds alien in this circumstance.
Saturday there, for instance. Should they redraw the map in the next couple of
I
weeks?
would. I mean, it depends. I mean, some states don't need to redraw, and some do. I mean, I know what the concept of the rule. I just haven't seen the result. Yeah, I would say generally, I would think that they would want to do it. Some are greatly helped, and some, it didn't make much difference. Yeah, I would say they would do that. They have time to do it. Yeah, please.
No, they don't. Because they've already had primaries. So they'd have to redo the primaries in some of those places because that's the state rules.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to ask you, there's a lot of drama on the House floor today. Several bills were stalled, and a rule took 2 hours to pass today, and there's still some tension over the farm bill. Do you think that you need to get more involved legislatively on Capitol Hill?
Well, we want
I'm doing the ballroom. Look out the drapes. It's beautiful.
the Democrats don't. We want
Actually, just the opposite.
We want security, okay? We need security. We want security. The Democrats don't think we need security. They actually do, but they suffer greatly from Trump derangement syndrome.
No, that's something that your voters have because you'd have to be fucking deranged to vote for this animal.
Like at levels that nobody's ever seen. They're sick people. There's something wrong with them. They don't want to pay anybody for security. They don't like ICE. They don't like Border Patrol people. They don't like the people.
Yeah, they do. They like them to do their jobs. And one of the ways they want to make sure they're doing their jobs is to have body cams on. Why would that be a problem?
People say, if when they ran this, they let 25 million people into our country. And many of those.
By the way, just a lie. Just flat out, just a lie. There are not 25 million more undocumented people in this country. There's still about 11 million. Same fucking number as before. There is not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. That's why he can't do mass deportations, because there just aren't the people to round up.
People were from prisons. They were from mental institutions.
You're thinking of the Russians that invaded Ukraine.
Drug dealers, murderers, 11,888 murders. Half of
these are people who were already convicted and were serving time in American prisons because we don't want to just release them to the country of origin where they hadn't committed a crime and could not be incarcerated in those countries legally. So we kept them in a jail here.
Whom committed more than one murder. They think that was fine.
I think it's fine that those people are in jail. Trump wants to give them a free plane ticket home. Kill an American, get a free lift home.
Like law enforcement, they essentially want to defund law enforcement, and I don't think the public's going to let them get away with it.
Yeah, they had a chance to do it during Biden, and they didn't.
We got it all approved in the great big beautiful bill, and they want to renegotiate. We don't like that.
No. You have the other funding. You wanted supplemental funding. That's what's holding it up.
Yesterday, Mr. President.
ICE has never had more money. For the record. It's just ridiculous.
Speech that he made to Congress, he spoke strongly, forcefully about the necessity for a strong NATO alliance. He also spoke about the necessity to continue to support Ukraine. Did his speech in any way change your thinking on either of those issues?
Well, you have to understand, my thinking is, I think, exactly correct, but I was very disappointed with the fact that when we called on them to give us a little hand, we didn't need it. I actually did it just to see whether or not they'd be there. When we called on NATO to give us a hand with Ukraine, and
they're not an offensive alliance, they're a defensive alliance. You're an idiot. Stop it. Nobody fucking buys this, especially maggots.
And in particular, the most recent, we asked them to do certain things on Ukraine, and we also wanted them to do things with Iran. And on Ukraine, they're very much involved, but they didn't do things the way we would like to see it. It's been going on for a long time. And on Iran,
Oh yeah, I fucked up Ukraine again on that one. 1 second. That like this is him. He like it's almost like his brain realizes he fucked up the Ukraine thing before. He did it again, and then
and in particular the most recent, we didn't need it. I actually did it just to see whether or not they'd be there. When we called on NATO to give us a hand with Ukraine and in particular,
right, Ukraine in particular, Iran, which is not Ukraine at all.
The most recent,
the most recent thing. What's the name? It's right on the tip of my ass. It's the most I ran so something like that. They helped us with Flock of Seagulls.
We asked them to do certain things on Ukraine, and we also wanted
No, you didn't.
them to do things with Iran.
Right, that's the word I was getting to. Shit.
And on Ukraine, they're very much involved, but they didn't do
Thank you, Ron.
things the way we would like to see it. It's been going on for a long time. And on Iran, they weren't there, as you know.
Yeah, it's a defensive alliance, not an offensive one. Clean up your own shit. We're the biggest military in the world. What do you mean, help us? And you didn't need it and you were just asking as a test, maybe they knew and they were just thought you were fucking around like, oh, Donald, you're so smelly. I mean, adorable.
Better than anybody. They weren't there. The king is fantastic. We spent a lot of time together. We had a lot of talk.
Yes, it felt like forever for him, I'm sure.
We talked about this also. And he loves his country, and he's a great king, and he's a great friend of mine. And I think if he were doing that, if that were up to him, he would have probably helped us with Iran. He would have followed the suggestions we made with respect to Ukraine, because, we have some disagreements on Ukraine.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
And not having to...
Like, you should side with Russia? And they're like, are you out of your fucking mind?
With NATO so much as European countries. But, no, he's coming back tomorrow. We had an incredible evening last night, and...
Yeah, I'm still chafed.
He's leaving tomorrow. He's going to come back and see us before he leaves. And
oh, that's sweet.
But I think he's a phenomenal representative for his country. I think the people in the United Kingdom should be proud.
Yeah, I think they're good. The fuck does this have to do with whether Iran or Ukraine will end sooner?
I loved the speech yesterday. I watched it. I loved the speech last night. I don't know about my speech. I thought my speech was okay too.
I actually think it's probably worse that you said that than the actual speech itself, which was bad.
But I thought I think he's an unbelievable king. And by the way,
as kings go, he's definitely in my top 8.
Unbelievable queen. They are a great couple.
Super awesome. You should write for Page 6.
This morning, we were talking about how busy you were this morning. James Comey was in court. He self-surrendered. He's now been charged a second time. This time over a social media post with seashells that said 8647. Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that post?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime,
it's you.
86. You know what 86? It's a mob term.
It's a restaurant term. Mark stuff off the menu and don't serve it anymore.
For kill him, You ever see the movie?
No, it's get him out of here. 86 somebody is also kicking them out of the club. That's the biggest function. Now, he's definitely got more mob friends than any of us do. So maybe that's the only place he heard it.
86 him. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 him. That means kill him. It's, I think of it as a mob term. I don't know, people think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say, 86, the son of a gun. I'm trying to keep the language nice and clear. They don't use that term, son of.
Right. I think they say motherfucker these days.
Again, they use another term, but that's a mob.
Yeah. The oozing gelatinous orange pile of dung.
Term for kill him, yeah.
But do you really think your life was in danger?
Probably, I don't know. Based on Based on what I'm seeing out there, yeah, the people like Comey have created tremendous danger, I think, for politicians and others.
Politicians and others. Yeah, busboys, valets, coal miners, politicians and others.
Comey is a dirty cop. He's a very dirty cop. He cheated on the elections. He tried to help Hillary Clinton, as you know.
No, he didn't. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have gotten elected. He literally got this asshole elected by starting up the Hillary thing again within weeks of the election. That's literally what did it. That was what sent people home. Because that and the fact that they're assholes.
Just a lot of things that he should have proceeded with. I wasn't involved, but he should have proceeded with. No, he's a dirty cop. He's a crooked man, yeah.
Mr. President, you just described there's been disagreement between the U.S. and Keir Starmer on support for Iran. Did your visit with the king smooth that over or create any warmth?
My visit with the king really was it was extraordinary. I mean, he's
just so, I at one point, people took a picture of me putting my hand on Melania's ass. I honestly thought it was the king's. I was that happy to see him.
Extraordinary.
I have one of his testicles on my desk. He left one. We're that close.
Man, he's an extraordinary person.
Also, yeah, not just a man, but also a person. That's what a humanitarian I am. He's a good human. As Homo sapiens go, he's tits.
And yeah, it helps from the standpoint that, when you like the king of a country so much, it probably helps your relationship with the prime minister.
Why? If he's that's the one making the decisions, what difference does it fucking make?
But, in that case, the prime minister, I said, do you want to send a little help? He said, no, we'll send it after you win the war. I said, that's not good. That's not good. What do you think of that, Jared? Sending help after we win the war? I don't know. Some.
He works for NASA, shithead. Leave him out of it.
That bothers me. Wait, I don't want to get you guys involved, but I can imagine what you're thinking.
Yeah, sure you do.
The United Arab Emirates, the UAE, they pulled out of OPEC.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think it's great. Look, I know him very well, Mohammed. And
I think that's his name.
Very smart. And he probably maybe wants to go his own way. That's a good thing, I think, for all.
Sorry. One second. One second. Yeah, Sheikh Al Nahyan. He calls him Mohammed because it's just safe to, because Mohammed bin Salman and all the other people. Yeah, he doesn't know any of the other words. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan is the guy's full name. Oops, sorry, wrong page. I gotta set these buttons up. I really do.
Ultimately, it's a good thing for getting the price of gas down, getting oil down, getting everything down. They have
everything down.
All. He's a great leader, actually. So no, I'm okay. They're having some problems in OPEC.
Are they like what? Getting their boats out of the Arabian Gulf?
Kevin Warsh passed a hurdle today. The Senate Banking Committee confirmed his nomination. It will go to the Senate floor.
We need
He'll be on the Fed in mid-May. Is it your expectation that he can persuade the other Fed governors to lower interest rates?
Well, we'll see. They should,
recently.
Because it's a good time to lower them. We're the most
No, it's not. Inflation is up.
Prime country anywhere in the world. We're right now having investments made in our country at a level that nobody's ever seen. No other country.
Yes, we still have not seen them. This is true. We have absolutely not seen any of this.
Nobody's ever seen it. Tens of billions of dollars are being invested. Factories, auto plants, AI. I mean, not just AI, because AI.
Mostly AI.
We're leading China by a lot in AI, as you know.
Yeah, because they have a glass ceiling on their AI.
I'm letting them build their own electric plants. They're building them, otherwise you could never do it. It was a concept that I came up with. I'm very proud of it. And
yes, and I'm sure all those places with data centers are going to love the coal.
by the way, they're building electric plants that people in the utility industry have never seen before. They're saying, man, that's incredible. So they're building these massive buildings that cost billions.
Sorry. That might be concerning if people are in the utility business, if they're like, fuck is that? Might be, you're not worried at all.
Billions of dollars, and they're building their own electric plants, so they're not taking from a source or the old grid, an old grid that
a source
would be able to do it. No, we're leading with everything, but in the history of our beautiful world, there's never been a country that has so much money being invested in it as us. And tremendous number of auto plants, by the way. The auto plants are coming out of Canada and Mexico.
Nope. By the way, I guess, USMCA was shit, and we've just settled on that now? Okay.
Japan, South Korea, Germany, they're all coming to the United States. And the reason is I have a very smart tariff policy. We were taken advantage of for years. We were being ripped off by other countries for years. And
the damn consumer kept buying these things.
Days are over. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, regarding Iran, how long are you prepared to maintain the blockade? Could that go several more months?
Well, the blockade is genius, okay? The blockade has been...
Yeah, who would have thought of a blockade blocking only part of the things that you're wanting to block?
100% foolproof. It shows how good our Navy is, I can tell you that. Nobody's going to play games. We have the greatest...
They literally played games. Like, there was a dude, like there was a boat that was avoiding for 6 hours and had to be pulled over. We've had to board a couple. We had to fire on one. I mean, I guess war's not a game, but they're not like afraid to try and get through it. And by the way, Trump let one of the Russian yachts go through with an escort. Yeah.
Military in the world, and I built much of it during my first term, and we've been building it since. And the greatest anywhere in the world, nobody even close.
Which has been true forever.
And you see that whether it's Venezuela, and they have a good military in Venezuela. But it was over in one day. It was actually over in about 48 minutes.
Right. It wasn't a war. It was an abduction.
Iran.
It's kind of in and out job as you do. Said an actress to a bishop.
The same thing. I mean, militarily, we've wiped them out. They have no military left. It's all the Navy's at the bottom of the sea. The Air Force is never going to fly again.
At the top of the sky.
We've got an amazing military. Now they have to cry uncle. That's all they have to do. Just say, we give up. We give up.
So that's it. If they don't have a military, who gives a shit if they say we give up? If any of what he's saying is true, which it obviously isn't, but you get my point. Who cares what they say?
But their economy is really in trouble. It's a dead economy.
Hey, but who knows? In a year, they could be the hottest country in the world, right, MBS?
And the blockade get Iran to nuclear talks fast enough, or do you think another wave of strikes will be necessary?
I don't know. It depends. We're having talks with them now, and we're not flying.
No, you're not.
Anymore with 18-hour flights every time we want to see a piece of paper. We're doing it telephonically. And it's very nice. I make a call, or I have my people make a call, and the answer. I always like face-to-face. I consider it better. But when you have to fly 18 hours every time you want to have a meeting.
Well, you don't. Your group could stay over there until it's done instead of hanging out for one day and going, this sucks, I'm going home.
And you know what the meeting's all about.
The hokey pokey. I mean, that's what it's all about.
And they're going to give you a piece of paper that you don't like before you even leave. It's ridiculous. They've come a long way. The question is whether or not.
No, they have not.
They're going to go far enough. So at this moment, there will never be a deal unless they agree that there will be no nuclear weapons.
Okay, Andre, I will. That'd be great.
Yeah, go ahead.
As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to raid Boston Bryant, everybody, and send you guys over there.
Are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C.? States like Florida, Texas, and Ohio have expressed interest.
You're going to have to say it differently.
Is it the speed of the words or the size?
Are you considering relocating NASA's headquarters out of D.C. once the lease is up? States like Texas, Ohio, and Florida.
Well, the best man to tell you that is the man sitting right over here. You heard that question? With those beautiful ears of yours? He's got great hearing, you know, he's got super hearing.
Trick of the trade.
Fuck you.
Yes, sir.
What's the answer to that?
I think the answer to that is we have 10 amazing centers around the country that all kind of bubble up to contribute to the mission we're able to undertake, like Artemis 2. I think in terms of...
And since NASA's a government agency that gets its funding from Congress, kind of important that the headquarters are here. We know some pilots, so we'll be able to make it to the other states when necessary.
The headquarters, we have a lot of people very interested in our mission. So being here in DC gives us the opportunity to kind of interact from all our stakeholders, make sure we make the right decisions for the nation.
Yeah, DC is an advantage, I guess, for you. It's got to go around. It's got to see some senators, make sure they keep going, right?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yeah, probably staying around's not so bad. And importantly, Washington, D.C. is now one of the safest cities.
Oh, shit. Right. You don't want to send him to fucking Huntsville, Alabama, or Florida. Those fucking places. DC's way safer.
In the country. When I came here a little more than a year ago, it was a very unsafe city. And now, maybe even more importantly than that, we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And you helped make it hot. You know, you helped make it hot.
Yeah, the rocket had a lot of fire coming out of the back.
When a year and a half ago, and I say it a lot, the King of Saudi Arabia, but others also, the King of Saudi Arabia said, Mr. President,
the country was a dead country, and now it's the hottest country in the world. Yes, we can all relate. It doesn't get it any weirder that dude chucked an American resident and a journalist in a fucking wood chipper.
A year and a half ago, we thought you had a dead country. We thought the United States was a dead country, and now?
Well, I mean, for their interests.
You have the hottest country anywhere in the world. And we do. And believe it or not, I mean...
Not.
Everybody in the world was watching that incredible performance by NASA, these incredible people behind me. Where they get the bravery, I have no idea.
We know you have no idea.
But you're a big part of it. You really are. We have the hottest country in the world. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Brad. 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 We'll go out that door, guys. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you guys. This way.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, guys.
This way. This way.
All right, press, please get out of here because no cankle shots. We're not doing cankle shots today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody gets out, and then the president can leave.
Mr. President, thank you. How do you like the new walkway? Good, huh?
Very impressive.
Good job.
How do you like the new walkway? Good, huh? Get out. Yeah. So, anyways, that leaves us at the end of the show. I'm going to let you guys go, and I'm going to throw it to Boston Brian now. Thank you guys for being here. Hit the like, share the show. Thank you guys for the super chats. Ron Maiden, appreciate it. I might wear a tank more often if it results in something like this. Thank you, Carolyn. And Gemini. Oh, yeah. Mr. Magoo, thank you so much. And Baltanos, thank you as well. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. And let's see. I'm going to let's thread a song in here or whatever. Yeah. Which one? I think we does in honor of Trump and Hegseth and the part of Nancy Mace's thing where she was congratulating Hegseth. Yeah. It's an appropriate tune. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourselves and take care of somebody else.
The screen glows bright with a crooked smile. We're still out.
do the raid. I'm doing it on Twitch. Hold on.